be quiet now. You can only do the cards, okay? Inside voices. Ready? Whose turn is it? Here, sit here with me.
Sit here with you?
Yeah, sit here with me.
In fact, Denise has got a book,
Okay.
a part of our family tradition here somewhere.
Like your family tree, you mean?
Yeah, I got quite a bit of it in it. And what the Bible's out in California. My brother's got that, and of course he's dead. I don't know where the heck that went. His boys might have it. But, what is that on now?
Yeah, I turned it on.
But, my mother's family, my mother came from Germany before the First World War. She had to sneak out of there because the Kaiser was taking all their lands and so forth, just like Hitler did. So she and a lot of her cousins got out and came to America. And she had a brother who was at the Kaiser's Guard. How that came about, I don't know, but he was. I used to have a picture of him, and then Billy Kennedy got a hold of it. I think it's in his bar or something. And so a lot of that stuff is gone. But the family Bible goes back before the Revolutionary War. And so I had an uncle, Reuben MacArthur. How MacArthur got in there, I don't know. But he was in the Revolutionary War. And I remember there's a note in that book about he hid from the Tories under a pile of straw during the war to get away from them. Because at that time, Western New York State was full of a lot of Tories and, Americans too, but that's where a lot of the war started, was over there. And other than that, I'd have to look. Most of my father's family, they were engineers, and they came through the old iron days before the Civil War, when malleable iron was about the only thing you had, and that most of their profession. And then I had an uncle. He owned a coal processing plant in New York, around. It was over on the Hudson River. And he was a real honest, straight shooting man. His name was my grandfather's name was Arthur Chapman Blass Sr. And then of course that was my father's name.
Your father was American, right?
Pardon?
Your father was
My
American.
father's American, yeah, they were all born over here. Yeah, some came over before the Revolution, some came over after. Exactly how many, I don't know. You could probably find it on the internet today. They would be, might be under MacArthur. And I can't think of my grandmother's maiden name. But they might be under her name too.
You mean Elsa's name or
No, my grandmother.
your grandma's name? Okay.
Yeah, my mother's name was Elsa Funk. And
Was that her German name? Or?
yeah, that's her German maiden name.
So they didn't give her a new name when she came over?
No, they didn't give people new names unless they wanted them.
Oh.
But she had cousins here, but she did have a sponsor. He was a brewmeister in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and he took her in as his governess to teach his children how to speak German. And that was her job until she married my father.
So they met in Massachusetts?
Yeah, he was working at the mill with his father at the time. Yeah, I tell you, some anecdotes too. My father used to like to drink. And one time during the 1920s, him and one of his buddies, they went and bought a motorcycle. My mother told me that herself. They got drunk. They smashed the motorcycle. They didn't get hurt or anything. But that was the end of the motorcycle. So, he never drove or rode again after that. And, but he always did manage to keep a job, keep working. Working, engineering the mills and stuff back there. In the paper mills in Lee, Massachusetts. And so we went all the way through the Depression. Of course, we went through the Depression. We always had gardens and enough to eat and all that stuff, where a lot of people didn't. It's almost like today. In fact, I think it's a little worse today. Because back then they didn't have as much to start with. So they didn't know what they lost.
Right.
Like a lot of them poor souls today. Get so much and then lose it all at once. And I just hope we get out of this mess. The worst mess this country's ever been in.
So were you born in Massachusetts then?
Yeah, I was born in Massachusetts, yeah.
Okay. Are you firstborn or where are you in? You have brothers and sisters, right?
Oh yeah, they're all dead now. No, my sister, my oldest sister still living, Rosemary.
Okay.
She lives in Louisiana. She's 84 years old. And my other sister, she died a few years ago, Lizzie. And then Art died, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. And he took all the treatments for cancer. He asked me one day, and I said I wouldn't waste my time with him. And he did, but he suffered horribly. The last 2 years, he just spent going from the bathroom to the bedroom. That's all he had. He had no life, you know, just suffering. And, so chemotherapy now. But even my friend Bernita, I don't know if you met Bernita at the funeral.
I think I had it.
Franny's partner.
Mhm.
She just had gallbladder. Excuse me. And the cancer and the chemo treatment she had put her in a hospital. I don't know what the. In fact, her grandson just sent me a letter. I got to write him too. And I guess she's doing pretty good now, but I hope she comes out all right.
So after Massachusetts, where'd you come? Where'd you go after
I
Massachusetts?
joined the Navy during the
Okay.
Korean War. Then after that. Well, see, when we were still in high school, Franny went to Massachusetts.
Okay.
She was born in Detroit. And all her family was in Detroit. But then her father went to Massachusetts, because that's where he was from originally,
Okay.
from the Kennedy homestead. And he went back there to try to help the old aunt save the farm. Well, eventually they said nothing. But he went back there and he lost a lot, so one summer they sent Franny back there. And then the following year, they sent her back to go to school, and that's where I met her, school. And,
What city was that in?
that was in Lee, Massachusetts.
Lee, Massachusetts.
That's just south of Pittsfield.
Okay.
And her teacher, her sister, her aunts, one aunt was a teacher in that school, another aunt was a teacher in another school, and the other aunt, she was a nurse. And she was living back there, but she was a nurse in Detroit for years.
Sorry, you're taking
One of the old nursing homes down there, hospitals. In fact, I heard the name of it the other day. It's gone now. You know, that was back in the 1890s. That's when all that was. So, no, I met Franny in high school. One day, me and a couple of buddies were standing at the drinking fountain, getting a drink of water, and these giggling girls come up, and she looked at me and had a hand. I don't know if she had a handful of weapon. Slapped the whole mess of water in my face. What the? I looked at it. They all ran away laughing, you know. I knew what the heck it was. I didn't even know who she was. So they laughed. Of course, I got ribbed.
And then you slide right.
And I don't know, a few days later or something, I'm walking down the hall. And the halls weren't really lit up bright. But they didn't waste electricity back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we used the windows mostly for light. And I could hear somebody come out the door down the end. And I got closer to her, I saw it was her. She was coming towards me. I thought, oh God, what did I do? So I stepped back. She walked out to me. She said, would you like to go to the Sadie Hawkins Day dance with me? And I said, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Back then I had a nickname. I never used to tell anybody. So it doesn't matter anymore. They used to call me Dynamite. So I was known all over school by that name. Why? I don't know. I never fought with anybody. I don't know. But that was my name. It's stuck. So we went to the Sadie Hawkins Day dance parade. The dance parade, and then we had a good time. And then after that, during the winter, every once in a while, she'd get her father to put on a sleigh ride. You know, he hooked the horses up, and we go for sleigh rides and things like that. And yeah, then it's springtime for a couple of years we used to do that. So we'd walk all the way from South Lee, all the way up around, down to my sister's farm, which was in Terringham, Massachusetts. There's all a bunch of towns, you know, all flooded in together. In fact, I was thinking here the other day, God, I used to walk everywhere. It was about, I bet it was 5 or 8 miles just walking on a Sunday. You know, just walking around like that we do. We walked down to my sister's farm down there. And all her husband's family, they were the Slaters. In fact, I got a card from Sammy Slater. No, a telephone call. I got to call him. He lives in, what's the city south of here near the border? Not
Cincinnati?
Cleveland, huh?
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati. Sammy lives in Cincinnati. And his brother, he still got the farm back there in Terringham. But all they do is raise hay. And then he has a sister back there. And then Sammy has a sister in Springfield. But they're a nice family. And they go back a lot of years. A lot of years. And, so anyway, we started for me to graduate, and then we more or less drifted apart. And so I went in the Navy, and I got shipped overseas, over to Korea. And I was over there off and on for 4 years. And one day she sent me a letter that she was engaged. And I probably wrote her back and wished her well or something. But anyway, she sent me that picture up there. The one that Nancy did. It wasn't that big. And so one day, I finally got discharged. And my mother was living in Texas then. So I drove all the way back, stayed in Texas for a while, and that's before the highways were here. And drove from there, drove up through, stayed with my mother for a while, and my sister lived in Texas, Texarkana. But I remember when I was heading back, I stopped in a little town in Arkansas, and some guy was coming out of the restaurant. He hollered to me, he's standing there talking. He says, "Hey kid," I said, "You going that way?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You give me a ride down to the racetrack?" I said, "Sure." You know, back then you pick up anybody, you weren't afraid like now. And the interesting thing, I took him down to the racetrack and let him out. We had a nice conversation and everything. But the interesting fact about that man was he wore brown suspenders, just like my father wore. He talked just like my father. Even though I was in Jim Crow country, he talked just like a Yankee. He didn't sound like no hillbilly at all.